try to get the tripod and that set up when we're around there. The shadows. Oh, and actually, so then what I do is copy the link and then.
Stop streaming very quickly after the doctor.
Oh my god, I'm walking through so many things.
Hi everyone, we're just getting started at the moment. We're just heading round to the site, so yeah, we'll be fully set up in just a minute. We might see some trucks coming around the roads, so I'll keep the camera pointed. We've also got Soytan Man going live at the same time.
I thought the side of that truck said speciesist then.
It does look like it. Hi everyone, thanks for joining the chat. It's absolutely freezing this morning. See all the frost on the ground. It's turning into a weather report.
Our hands are like ice already.
Have you got the hot water?
No.
Oh shit.
Where is that then?
I don't know.
Let me tell this.
Yeah, you have dialogue. I'll go run back and get it.
We bought a, what is it? Like a canister of hot water, and Alex has left it somewhere, so. How's it going, Aaron? Tinkering with the string. Bye everyone. Where are you going? We're going to Guildford Slaughterhouse today. Show up for all the cows that are there, being sent in there against their will. But we're just waiting for Alex because we've left something behind. The worst thing is with gloves on, I can't do anything.
Oh yeah, that is really annoying.
I need those gloves where you can actually screen. Here he is. Hi Owen.
Am I still muted? No.
You're
Yeah,
back.
that's better. Awesome. Right, let's try again, shall we? I got
Hot
some.
water canister is secured.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining the stream. So we're just heading around the corner now to the site. If you go to the video description, there's a link to an article that's been released an hour ago that has basically exposed this slaughterhouse. The FSA, so the Food Standards Agency, public body, have conducted an audit, and they found that this specific site flagged for 6 major non-compliances regarding the stunning of animals was done improperly. the handling of the animals, the movement, the equipment, the operating procedures, and the hygiene standards. You can read that full article to see exactly what's happened at their site. The link is in the video description, so you can read that further. There's also a social media post. If you look at Animal Aid UK on Instagram, you'll see the latest social media post has actually kind of just summarised those findings. Hey David, thanks for being in the chat. Good to see you. It's a bit early for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it must be. What time is it over there?
40-year-old vegan.
What's up, David?
David, the legend, the man, the myth, the legend.
Third time for charm.
What's that?
Third time they crashed.
Oh.
Things have been removed.
Stickers.
Yeah. I say our things.
Someone's thing.
So many streamers so far, it's mad. Love that.
Yeah, how many have you seen so far, David? I mean, we just joined Mel and Steve's stream. Can see a couple of activists there with them as well. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people doing Project Livestream today. Are you going to go live later? Yeah, it must be so early in America right now.
Yeah. The dedication, you love it.
So, if you flip the camera,
I've got gloves on.
So this slaughterhouse is just up here on the right. So we're in the middle of an industrial estate. Like, this is where people come and work every single day. The commuters, you get people walking to school. This slaughterhouse is bang in the middle of an industrial estate, and if people knew what was going on in there, the horrors that goes on inside of a slaughterhouse, that's why we're here. We're here to educate, expose, and show people that literally live and work next door. So here's the site. So this is where the trucks all go in.
So what are we doing, hanging back here?
Yeah. Aaron.
Aaron.
Just dialogue a bit.
Huh?
And you hold and talk for a bit.
Okay. Just getting the tripod set up. Do you know what time they open here?
What's that?
Do you know what time they open?
They open early, probably about 6 or 7.
Wow. So probably had plenty
So
of
trucks come in early in the morning.
Yeah. Full of innocent cows who want to live just like we do. We don't want to feel pain, don't want to suffer. Want to have a life of freedom. Just like we do. We don't want to be exploited, abused, slaughtered for something, especially something as trivial as a 5-minute meal that you're going to forget about in a week's time. So that's why we're here today, and we're going to raise awareness of these atrocities that are happening and hopefully make some more of you understand what it is that goes on and make the connection between what's on your plate and the animals that lives have been taken for it. David, Jazz, we have to play a game of pool. We do. We do. Me and David played a lot of pool together, like snooker, if you don't know what pool is. And David's very good. He's a very good pool player, if you didn't know that. So I need to up my game. Right, tripod's almost set up. Aaron over here. Let's go.
How many have we got in the room?
We have 14 people in
Cool.
the room.
So maybe direct them to the 3-minute movie challenge on the video description. Tell them what that's about.
So in the description of this live stream, there is something called the 3-minute movie challenge, where essentially it's a 3-minute challenge to see if you can face it, basically. Can you face it? So head to the link in the description. David has just sent it, thank you. So it's in the description, or David has just sent it in, and yeah, go and check it out. It's life-changing, to say the least. Certainly changed my life and many people's lives that I know, that I speak to. Go and watch it.
Cool, right, ready to go with the tripod. Hey, that's my workplace. You work here, do you? Feel free to come out and have a chat with us. Be good to speak to someone from the inside. Maybe you've heard about the audit happened at your site, if you're working at that place.
I wonder if he works one of these or actually.
Or do you just mean, yeah, the industrial estate? Please do double tap the screen and like this video. It helps get this sent out to more and more people. Yeah, and if you can share and subscribe, that'll be great. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, good, thank you. How are you doing? I mean, not good that we're at a slaughterhouse, but a bit cold, but we've got some nice warm clothes and some hot drinks with us, so we should be okay. Guys, we'll have to send security out if you play out. Yeah, please do. Send them out. Send them out now. We do actually want to have a chat with them. So yeah, please, if you work there, send them out now. That'd be excellent if you could do that. So yeah, check the video description. If you hit the 3 dots at the top of your screen, go to description. You'll see the article that was recently released about this exact site that we're at today, where the FSA had major non-compliance at this site.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, isn't it, to know what goes on in the slaughterhouse, but let alone when they're like this. Awful.
You wouldn't believe what goes on here. So yeah, I mean, we've seen footage that happens inside these slaughterhouses. We see the trucks that go in. We have a very good visual of what goes on inside, but a lot of people don't, and that's the problem. The public that walk past these places every single day, you're right, they wouldn't believe what goes on inside these places. That's why in the video description there's a link to a 3-minute movie challenge that people can actually see what happens. Yeah, David's just posted it below. Thank you so much, David. So we want to get people to know what goes on inside these places, because if you don't work there and if you're not part of this industry, you wouldn't have a clue what goes on. And that's why people still conform to this system, is because people believe the lies we're told. They buy products off shelves, but they don't see what happens to the animals in the process of getting those products. I'm just going to see if there's any trucks in there at the moment.
As they say, if slaughterhouses had glass walls, everyone would be vegan. So
There's
that's
a
what us
worker in there
activists
at the
are
moment,
trying
just
to do, trying to
cleaning up.
expose what it is that happens inside.
So we've also got some signs with us as well. It's probably going to read backwards. I'll flip the camera. So we've got some signs as well that we're just going to have holding up, propped up against the fence, just so people driving past, again, can try and get a visual of what this place is. Because when you look at this site, you know, this is all you see. You just see, you know, a green building. Anything could be going on in there. And if you don't see the animals specifically going in on the trucks, then you'll probably have no idea that what this site is. So you put, it's ridiculous that more people don't understand the atrociousness and complete disregard of not wanting to eat more meat. So the consumption of meat in itself is atrocious. We don't need to eat it. We don't need to force animals into slaughterhouses and gas chambers. It's atrocious that people don't know that there are alternatives out there, and the industry have done a great job at that. So we're here to stand up for the animals that people believe are humanely killed, or, you know, they're just, you know, this is part of the food chain. We're here to debunk all of those myths and to show you that we don't need to consume animals. We don't need to send animals inside these facilities. Just for simple taste pleasure, because that's all it is at the end of the day. We don't need to consume animals, so that what other excuse is there? So yeah, as we always do on these live streams, we'll be putting some polls into the chat. We'll encourage people to comment and we'll respond to those comments. So if you have any questions about veganism, if you have any questions about animal slaughter, slaughterhouses, farming, anything like that at all, please do drop them in the chat. You know, we're here to educate and we're here to inform and we're here to expose. So please do put anything in the chat. You know, we have people go vegan on these live streams because they generally don't know what goes on inside these facilities. So we're here to explain exactly what happens and show them as the trucks come in with the animals on. So let's start a quick poll up for now and let's see what the consensus is. So the poll is, would you consider going vegan? So please do vote on the poll and then we'll talk about the responses. What country are you from? I'm Scottish, so British, English, down south of England. So we're in a Surrey slaughterhouse today. You can find out more information on this specific slaughterhouse in the video description. So at the moment, 4 votes, 50-50 at the moment, 50-50. You know, this is, they're pretty good odds compared to the number of vegans that are out there in society. So this is, yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
So yeah, please do vote. Hi Tracy.
Hi Tracy, hi Liam.
%67%. And whilst you're voting, if you just double tap the screen as well, you'll like this live video and it gets shown to more and more people. Thanks, Tracy. But hi guys, thanks for being there. Yeah, thanks for your support, Tracy. You know, we never enjoyed doing this. We never enjoyed coming to a slaughterhouse. It's absolutely freezing cold this morning. But ultimately, we want this place shut down. We don't want these places to exist and we want to educate the public. So yeah, your support on these live streams massively helps. So if you can like, subscribe, share this video to more people and people that you think should watch it, please do help with that. So yeah, we'll try and obviously show you the trucks as they come in.
What do you generally get when you put those polls up? How does this compare?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when there's more people in the room, you get more responses. But generally, it depends what the issue is. Like, obviously we're talking about veganism here, and a lot of people don't really know what that concept is. So for the people that know, I want to get them to change their answer by the end of this live stream.
Nice.
Cool, so yeah, still, so 15 votes in. So if anyone else hasn't voted yet, please do before I quickly close it. And yeah, maybe we'll talk about the results of that poll. Cool, so right, I'll close it now. So 17 votes in, 88% said no, 12% said yes. So, I mean, what that means, at the moment in society, I think 3% are vegan, yet 12% of the poll said they're open to being vegan. So 88% said they aren't. So at the moment now, those that have said no, you wouldn't consider being vegan. Why is that? Why have you said no? Please comment your reason for not considering going vegan, because in plain sense, being vegan just means being kind to animals. So all those people that have said no, 88% of you saying you're not kind to animals, because that's how that voting system works. You've said no to being vegan, so you just not care about animals. You think we should slaughter them. Would you swap places with them? Would you be in their position? Would you happily come in on a slaughterhouse truck to be killed at a fraction of your life? The cows coming in here, so if they're bred to be beef cows, they're often about a year old, 1 to 2 years old. And if they're dairy cows, they are suffering a life of forcible impregnation. No, it's the bus. Forcible impregnation, where they are artificially inseminated. They'll take the bull from a semen and inject it into the rear of a female cow. A female will become pregnant, and once they give birth to the babies will be taken away from their mothers. And the reason they're taken away is because the mothers produce milk, and the milk is then sent to supermarkets because people purchase dairy products. And the babies are taken away. So you said I would be vegetarian but not vegan. So this is the dairy industry. The dairy industry is this. The dairy industry is the meat industry because the dairy cows are coming in, they're forcibly impregnated, their babies are stolen. If the babies are male, they'll be shot either in the first couple of weeks or a couple of months if they're sent to the veal industry. And if they're female, once they're old enough, they'll go through the same cycle. And then all dairy cows end up in a slaughterhouse. These dairy cows at about 3 years old will be sent to a slaughterhouse for cheap meat. So those that are saying you be vegetarian, if you're vegetarian, you're still paying for the dairy industry, you're still paying for the meat industry. But being vegan just says, no, I don't want to exploit animals, I don't want to pay for animals to come into this slaughterhouse, I want to be kind and respect them. So for Gemma that said you couldn't be vegan, like what is your reason for not? Because if you can see enough to being vegetarian, surely your ethics align to being vegan and to be fully in alignment in that you don't want to exploit animals.
And it really is so easy, like so easy to be vegan, especially in like today, in 2025, it is the easiest than ever. There really is no excuse. As the chart goes, there is no excuse for animal abuse. So.
Yeah, they've got two. Yeah, so the guy in orange is usually the main security, is usually here, and the other guy in the yellow hive is, I think it's just maybe another just general staff.
Also got this sign here, which I am holding in plain view of all the cars that drive past. So hopefully they will realise A, what this place is, and B, what they're paying for, and stop paying for it. Even if one person is changed by this live stream or from this sign because they've driven past, that is incredible. That is less animals being killed. That could be up to 365 animals in a year that is saved because of this one live stream from one person going vegan. That's how many animals you could save by going vegan. It's, a lot of people think that just them going vegan doesn't have an impact, but oh my god, it does. Imagine 365 animals standing in front of you, looking at you with their eyes, pleading with you. What would you do? Would you send them into a slaughterhouse, or would you want to rescue them? And I can guarantee that the majority of you in here would choose to rescue them, because we are all animal lovers at heart.
It could mean a truck's imminent.
And we don't even have to love animals to recognise that they deserve respect.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, that's just.
So, you don't have to be this huge animal lover to just stop paying for them to be harmed, slaughtered, exploited. It's really easier than ever.
So we've got security. I'm just going to put the camera around because security are looking at us now. So I'm going to keeping a beady eye. Hello. There. So yeah, we can see we've got their attention, and we know that extra security call-outs cost them money. So they'll be keeping an eye on us now for the day. They've got 2 security on the door. Yeah, they look a bit uneasy, to be honest. They look a bit worried, and I think that's because we're not the usual familiar faces they're used to seeing. They're not the activists that are often here, whether it's doing vigils or live streaming. So I think they're a bit worried. So that's why they're keeping an eye on the door and keeping an eye on us at the same time. But it could also mean a truck is imminent if he's just hanging around at the gates, because they usually have regular deliveries. They have the same trucks come in at a fairly similar time. So we know there'll be trucks coming in. They probably they hold them off down the road for a bit as well.
That's very true, yeah. Could be hanging around because they know one's about to come around.
So yeah, any questions in the chat, please do put them in. We're here to respond to you. We're here to educate and support you. So thank you for being on this stream, and feel free to comment. It's an open space. Comment whatever you like, but obviously if you have genuine questions, they'll be the ones that I'd likely pick up and will actually respond to. So yeah, any questions about slaughterhouses, any questions about the dairy industry, the cows that are coming into these facilities, please do put them into the chat and we'll respond to them between us. And just to give you an insight into what happens into these trucks. So this is a dairy cow truck that's been into these facilities before. And these are the victims that go inside these trucks, sent to slaughter. And this is the dairy industry. So if you're consuming milk and dairy, if you're vegetarian, you're still paying for these dairy cows to be sent to slaughter. You know, look into their eyes, their fear. This was their final journey. They were killed at a fraction of their lives. These dairy cows are killed often about 3 years old. They can live to over 20 years old. These are just babies. I mean, so yeah, you said, can I ask you a question? Yeah, please do put the questions in the chat. So you said, so you don't drink milk. Do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, no, we don't. We don't drink milk. We don't have any product from an animal, so that includes eggs. We don't have honey. Obviously, animal flesh we don't eat. Yeah, we don't have any product from the animal. And the reason for this is because they want to live. You know, they deserve respect and freedom, just like we do. Milk, in particular, is probably, I honestly think, one of the worst industries. It is absolutely heartbreaking. You know, mother cows are forcibly impregnated, then their babies are taken from them, sometimes as early as hours, days old, because of course we don't want the baby cows to be drinking the cow milk, do we? Because we want it all for ourselves, is how the industry sees it. So the baby cows are taken from their mothers, and the mothers repeat this cycle again and again and again for about 5 or 6 years until they can no longer produce milk. So they are seen as a waste product now. They are not profitable, so they're sent to a slaughterhouse, just like cows that are reared for their flesh. So the dairy industry is a meat industry, and there's just so much suffering involved in it, and it's so easy to just pick oatmeal, pick, you know, coconut milk, rice milk, tiger nut milk, soy milk. There are so many options with no suffering involved. It's such an easy swap to make. So sad, poor cows. I agree. It is heartbreaking.
Yeah. Thanks for being in the chat again, Alicia.
Do your family members eat meat or drink milk?
Answer that.
No, my close family, luckily, don't. They are all vegan as well, which is amazing. It obviously makes everything so much easier for me, for them. It's better for the animals. Yeah, they watched the 3-minute movie challenge, which is in the description of this live stream. They watched it. You know, they called me up, absolutely crying their eyes out afterwards, and they couldn't believe what they'd just seen. And that was it. That was the moment. They just made the switch, made the connection, and they no longer pay for animals to be harmed, which is absolutely incredible. I don't know if you want to answer the same.
Yes, it's about the milk and family members.
Yeah, if you're family members.
Yeah, so my parents recently actually have now swapped out dairy milk to oat milk, and sometimes soy or almond, depending on maybe what's on offer. So yeah, I mean, after being educated about what happens to the animals, but also from a health perspective, like, what is dairy milk? Like, this is mammary secretions, which include how many thousands of pus cells are legally allowed in milk? Thousands of pus cells, if not millions.
I think it's equivalent to an eyedropper worth. So, you know, like a little pipette, you put a drop in of pus in a glass of milk is the standard that is allowed in your milk that you buy. Which,
so you've got pus in there, you've got hormones, you've got also blood elements can be in milk. So as not, let alone the saturated fats and the cholesterol, like what you're consuming is baby calf growth fluid. You're consuming milk that is intended for a baby cow to grow into a huge cow. So no wonder people are lactose intolerant. 70% of the global population are lactose intolerant. No wonder that, because we're not baby cows, we're humans. We don't need to consume dairy milk. We can have plant-based milks. We've got oat milk, soy milk, nut milk, hundreds of different milks out there now in the supermarkets, and it's so readily available, so wherever you go you can get plant-based milks. So that's something that I think there's a truck coming. Or is it, no, maybe not. No, false alarm.
No.
False alarm. So yeah, there's really no excuse for consuming dairy milk anymore. There's so many alternatives available. The education, the awareness is there. So, you know, what's stopping you? If you're in the chat today and you consume dairy milk, what is stopping you from switching to plant-based milks now?
Yeah, it's such an easy switch. All you've got to do is just move your hand. Go to a different aisle in the supermarket, or just move it along an inch. Did they say?
I don't know, someone shouting us as they drive past. Probably the same guy as this Joe Griffin in the chat saying
Yeah,
get a
it's
job.
probably him.
Because it's so funny, but I keep saying this. You do realise vegans aren't legally allowed to work, don't you? You know, if you're vegan, you don't have to work. So that's another positive quirk of being vegan. You don't have to get a job. So yeah, maybe Joe Griffin, if you become vegan, you don't have to work anymore. How about that?
The sign says, "There is no humane way to kill." We like to throw around the word humane, but when you look at the synonyms of humane, you know, compassion, benevolence, how do we do that to an animal? How do you kill an animal compassionately? It's an oxymoron, to say the least. So we are holding up a sign for people that are just driving by in their car, because this slaughterhouse is on an industrial estate. So there's regular people right close by, not even knowing what this place is, why it exists. So yeah, hopefully they will understand. And John, I think you said earlier that there's actually feces in cow's milk as well, which, yeah, I didn't even think about that. That is honestly awful. When you can just drink oats. You can drink oats. Saw someone else this morning saying this is a slaughterhouse in Melton. Milking cows do not get killed, and the males get the girls in season only. Milking cows do get killed. I don't know where you have got that information from. If you have a cow that you are relying on for profit, for money, because of the milk they are producing, when they stop producing that milk, which they do after about 5 or 6 years, they are sent to a slaughterhouse because they're not profitable anymore. They are not of any use to the farmer, unfortunately, as horrible as that is. That is how their business model works. So they are sent to a slaughterhouse to be killed and turned into cheap meat. What if we just milked women instead? Breast milk would be biologically compatible. Do you know what? I agree. Check out speciesism.wtf on Instagram. If anyone can leave the link, that would be awesome. But they do these really interesting art installations where they have women that are being milked to show that, you know, if it's not right for us to do this to humans, why is it right for us to do it to cows? You know, we wouldn't have hordes of women lined up being milked for everything that they're worth, and then think that that's okay to do to another female of any species. So speciesism.wtf if you are interested in women being milked and how that compares. Go and check it out, it's really interesting. Why are you so concerned about the cow? What about the other animals? We care about all animals here. The reason that we are talking more about cows is because this slaughterhouse specifically is for cows. Slaughterhouses are usually just one specific type of animal. But no, if you go vegan, it's because you care about every animal, and we do. So yeah, pigs, chickens, fish, all of them. We do not want to exploit any of them at all for any reason.
Mr. Grumpy still staring at us.
Is he?
I'm used to it again now. So hi everyone, yeah, how's the chat doing? Is it
Yeah,
okay?
someone said, why don't we drink milk from women? So I was talking about the speciesism demos
yeah,
and how we try and
absolutely.
make that comparison.
Yeah, there's a big difference with that as well, as one is consenting and one is not, so
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those that have recently joined the chat, we'll keep cycling through. So if you go to this video description, you can watch a 3-minute movie. It's called 3minutes.wtf. It's completely free to watch. 3 minutes of your life. You can join the live stream, you can watch this video, and it will show you exactly what happens in this industry. It will show you exactly what happens in farms, in slaughterhouses, and all the associated industries in just 3 minutes. Our thanks, Alicia just put that into the chat. So the link is below. Go and watch that, and you will have your eyes open. Many people have gone vegan from watching this video, and it will educate you, and it's changed a lot of people's lives. So it's completely free. So yeah, please make sure you go and do that.
Stand in the sun.
And yeah, hopefully the sun will rise up a bit more in a minute.
Quite aesthetic.
So yeah, we've still got the security staff. Let me just focus back on them. So yeah, he's still peeking out the gate. Still keeping a beady eye on us. So this site, as the title of the video obviously mentions, is that this site has been recently exposed in a recent FSA audit. So the Food Standards Agency, the public body that audits slaughterhouses, has found that this specific site, ABP Guildford, has flagged for 6 major non-compliances. This is improper stunning of animals, improper handling, the movement, the instruments used, and also their standard operating procedures, and also there's an environmental factor that's flagged as well. 6 major non-compliances that was found in a June audit. Still in November with the update, nothing has changed. This place is going to go under. It has to go under. These places can't operate when they're not even abiding by basic audits. They also flagged 18 minor non-compliances as well. So it's not just a couple of things here and there. Across the board, they've got major and minor non-compliances, and you can find the whole of this information if you go to the video description. There's an article by Animal Aid. If you go onto their website, you can copy and paste the link into your browser, or check out Animal Aid's latest social media post. It summarizes exactly what's happened at this site, what the audit data found, and it shows you what you can do. And if you're a whistleblower, if you work in these industries, if you're a slaughterhouse worker, a farmer, anything to do with these sites, you can whistleblow, you can report anonymously, strictly with confidence. You can report misuse, inappropriate behaviour, illegal actions towards animals at these sites. So we encourage any whistleblowers out there to step forward. You can do it anonymously. You can report it via Animal Aid's website in the Contact Us section. So we encourage more and more people to come forward, because as we were talking about earlier, like these audit findings, most of the time they know when these audits are happening. So if this is when they're prepared and they're ready for an audit, and they've still got 6 major non-compliances and 18 minor non-compliances, that's when they know the audit are coming. Imagine what it's like when people turn up unannounced. Imagine what information and footage people could get from the inside and send out to the world. So yeah, please do check out on Animal Aid's website. The link is in the description. The article that has actually been exposed for this specific slaughterhouse, and we're trying to obviously expose that to the public and everyone on this live stream today, and educate what exactly goes on inside these sites. So this is a dairy cow slaughterhouse as well as a beef cow slaughterhouse. So cows will come in of all ages here. Some of them could even be young calves as old as 1 to 2 weeks old from your local farms. These calves are killed at 1 to 2 weeks old because they are a waste product to the dairy industry. Once mother cows, dairy cows, are impregnated and they give birth to their young, if they're male and they're not being sent off to the veal industry, they're a waste product because they're seen as not profitable. They're useless to the industry. So they will send these young calves, 1 to 2 weeks old if they're male, into a slaughterhouse. And we've seen at this specific site how young some of these cows are, less than a year old, 6 months old. Whether it's for veal, for beef, or they're dairy cows that are also being killed for meat. The dairy industry is the meat industry. If you're consuming dairy products, if you're consuming milk, you're paying for the cows to be sent to a slaughterhouse for them to be chopped up into cheap meat for cheeseburgers and minced beef. So even if you're vegetarian, you're consuming dairy, you're still paying towards the meat industry. Hi Karen, great job you're both doing. Thank you for your support in the chat. It's great to see, supporters in the chat, fellow vegans. Thank you for being here. It really does help with your support. And if there's comments that you want to respond to, Karen, in the chat, please feel free to. So Larry's put a few names, I don't recognize them, but teaching how to farm ethically. I don't know these people, but what I would say is there is only one way to farm ethically, and that is to not farm animals. You cannot farm animals ethically. You cannot exploit and kill animals ethically. It cannot be done. And as this sign shows, there is no humane way to kill. There is no humane way to kill. As Jazz mentioned earlier, humane is being kind, benevolent, compassionate. You cannot call slaughter compassionate or kind when you're killing an animal a fraction of their lives.
Well said. I think someone above asked how long we've been vegan.
Okay, yeah, if you want to answer that, and
Yeah.
I'll answer next. Yeah, thanks for all the comments on the chat. Please keep them coming through.
Clinton, when did you guys become vegan? So for me, it was 8 years ago now. 8 years ago, someone said the word vegan to me, and back then it wasn't really a common thing, as you can believe. It's come a long way in 8 years. And me being the curious person that I am, I decided to Google what vegan was. I just typed in the word vegan. And Earthling Ed, sorry, being beeped at. Earthling Ed, if you've heard of him, has a documentary called The Land of Hope and Glory. I came across this in the Google search results and watched it. It's only about 45 minutes, but as you can imagine, it is absolutely harrowing footage. 45 minutes of me crying my eyes out, essentially realising what I had been paying for, what I had been supporting with my money, and it was an easy switch for me. It was like I'm not paying for that anymore. Overnight, I'm done. And yeah, it was interesting. Watch Christspiracy, yes. Christspiracy is another really great documentary. Watched that when it first came out in the cinema. Very eye-opening. A lot of Christians that think, it's Jesus told us we could eat animals, or the Bible says we can eat animals. The consensus is actually it's probably not what Jesus would have wanted at all. So definitely, if you relate to any of that, check out Christspiracy. It is very interesting. We had some other messages previously. So someone in here, Nini Kate, you are a nutritionist, ruminant nutritionist, and you're yet to meet an activist who actually understands what goes on. Please cite your credentials and which farms you've spent years working on. I don't think you have to work on farms to know what goes on. There are plenty of investigations. We have done investigations into RSPCA assured farms. We've done investigations into red tractor assured farms. There have been investigations into local farms. There's been investigations into slaughterhouses. It's quite clear what goes on isn't niche to one farm. It is standardised cruelty across all of them. I have friends that are vets that are now vegan, that have exposed what happens from inside a slaughterhouse. We've got a 40-year-old vegan who has just left this chat. He used to be a slaughterhouse inspector. He knows exactly what goes on inside these places, and he did for years, and he is now vegan. So, there really is nothing stopping you. You can say that I am not qualified, but I have seen with my own eyes. I know people that have been onto these farms, and I've seen the footage. I don't think you need much more than that to know that what we do to animals is wrong. We don't need to exploit them. We don't need to keep them in cages. We don't need to do what we do to them. It is so easy to go vegan. I didn't say I was educated by Google. I said I Googled the word vegan and I came across a documentary called The Land of Hope and Glory. Check it out. 45 minutes long. It's really great. I didn't say I was educated by Google. I came across a resource through using the internet, as people do. I was the same, vegetarian at first. Oh, we've got a truck. Sorry, Karen, I'll get to your comment in a minute. Go, go, go. just muted mine.
Sorry, no sound. Damn it. Oh, that's annoying.
That is annoying. Oh well.
When was it muted from? Probably. That's interesting. Why did it mute?
They were probably hearing you off of mine before then.
No, they were both muted.
Yeah, I only just muted mine when you went over there because I thought you had yours on. Oh well.
Did you press anything here?
No, you had that with you.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, either way, we asked them to slow down the trucks. He said no. Long story short, yeah, not a very nice man. But yeah, all we want is to just sound as just trolls. Yeah, I think it was muted when we were speaking to the security. I don't know if anyone could confirm that whilst we were chatting to the security. Did anyone hear what he said back?
Would your phone have picked it up?
No, because it's connected to the audio, annoyingly. Oh well, we'll just do it again. Next truck comes down, we'll ask him again. So yeah, obviously we're just asking them to stop the trucks for a couple of minutes. And they don't even want to do that. So they know that cows are going to be sent to slaughter. This is the last time they're going to be, on this planet, on this earth with us, and they can't even give us the justifications. They can't even give us a moment with those animals to say goodbye. Yeah, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Did you?
Someone said, why should animals be afforded the same rights as humans? So we don't think they have to have the same rights. We're not asking for them to have the right to vote. We just want them to have basic rights, like being able to live free from harm and suffering and exploitation. That is all we're asking for, is for just basic respect for the animals. Why do you want to stop the truck for a couple of minutes? That is incredibly stressful for the animals. Do you know what is stressful for the animals? Going into a slaughterhouse and getting a knife put across your throat. That's what's stressful for the animals. We want to stop the trucks for a couple of minutes so we can get footage of the animals. We can show the internet, show the world, and expose what is happening, make them make the connection between what's on their plate and the animals, the individuals that these animals are. Go vegan, y'all, it's that easy. Exactly, Angel.af7, thank you. Exactly, it is so easy. It really, really is.
Yeah.
That is purely performative to fulfill yourself. I don't think it is. I think what we're trying to do actually is get footage of the animals so that we can make other people go vegan. The bigger picture is we want people to go vegan, we want people to make the connection. So that is why we are here today, that's why we're getting the footage, that's why we want the trucks to slow down even the tiniest bit so we can get that little bit more footage.
So what I'm going to do is just take the tripod and put it over the top so you can see the animals that are there at the moment.
Okay.
So hopefully it stays in the tripod. So I'm just going to show you the animals that have just gone inside in that blue truck. If I can zoom in a bit. Yeah. So they're in that blue truck over there at the moment. They've just come in. Yeah, put in the chat if you can see the truck at the moment. Obviously that's where security are keeping an eye on us. Yeah, so this is the big truck that just came in with lots and lots of cows on. Hopefully you can see that. So Mimi Kate says, you don't know what you are looking at inside of the truck and it stresses the animals. I know exactly what I'm looking at inside these trucks. These are cows that are about to be sent to slaughter. You don't need to educate me about what goes on inside these places. And plus, this place was recently audited and we know that they fail to treat the animals in any respectable manner inside these slaughterhouses as well. They flagged us 6 major non-compliances. They do not stun the animals properly inside. They do not handle them well. They do not move them around well. They use inappropriate use of equipment. So there is no humane way that they take these animals in. It's definitely not activists outside that are stressing them out. Definitely not.
It's quite ironic that people are saying that when they're the ones
Yeah.
paying for them those trucks in the first place.
And bearing in mind, when the trucks come past, we're simply filming silently from the sides. As the trucks go in, we're there to capture the animals. We're there to capture the footage of the animals going in. We're not like shouting inside these trucks, are we? We're there to be peaceful, watching the animals going in and simply asking security if they can stop the trucks for us. And if you want to come and see exactly it for yourself, come on down. You know, come on down, come and join us outside the Slaughterhouse. I encourage you to. So if you haven't already, please just do double tap the screen or hit the like button. It just helps show this video to more and more people, and we want as many eyes on the animals as possible, so that would massively help. So Greg's put, is this halal slaughterhouse which should be banned, and meat is vital to our diets? I mean, so a couple of things in there. Meat is not vital to our diets. End of. Otherwise we wouldn't be living and existing right now because we don't consume meat. Also, this isn't a halal slaughterhouse, but there is really no difference between a halal slaughterhouse and this slaughterhouse, a stun slaughterhouse. It's flagged in the latest audit of a major non-compliance for stunning the animals properly. And that's the key difference between halal and non-halal is, in theory, in this place, they will stun the animals first unconscious and then kill them. But these are flagged as a major non-compliance in the latest FSA audit, showing that they are not stunning the animals properly. And we know this isn't just an isolated case, this happens everywhere. We've got, you know, footage inside these slaughterhouses of them bolt gunning cows 3, 4, 5 times, and it still doesn't stun them, and they still hang them up by their feet and slice their throats whilst conscious. There is no difference to what happens to the animals at a halal slaughterhouse versus a stun slaughterhouse. Either way, they're hung up by their necks, they have their throats sliced, and they are killed unnecessarily and immorally.
Vegan multitaskers.
Hey, vegan multitaskers.
Legends. Yeah, exactly. Moaning about halal exposes their xenophobia. Yeah.
And if you want to see this for yourself, go to the video description and go to the 3-minute movie challenge. It's called 3minutes.wtf. Go to the video description, you can copy and paste the link. It's 3 minutes and it's completely free to watch. So you can see exactly what happens. Don't just take our word for it, go and watch it for yourself. Go and do that research and go and see it for yourself with your own eyes.
There's a big difference in halal. Do you know, the main similarity that we're talking about here is that the animal is killed for food, for you to have a 5-minute meal when you do not need it. Okay? If everything else is different, so what? They are still killed for you to have a 5-minute meal that you're going to forget about a week later. The whole animal's life, you know, they've been exploited their whole life. They are essentially slaves. Like, for what? You know, it's so easy to just choose something made from plants. It is so easy. And there really is no excuse. It's disgusting what they do to animals. Oh, hold on. What we have done to animals. It's crazy that people still ignore what's happening and even foolishly still swallow meat constantly without guilt. Yeah, that is the one thing I have loved about being vegan is, you know, knowing that I am able to live my life as much as I can without harming another animal. It's, you know, and it's the easiest decision that I ever made. The only thing I regret is not doing it sooner. It's just a shame animals are so delicious, someone said. You know, the reason that they're delicious is because you season them with plants. You season them with the vegan food to make them taste nice. I don't think any of you would be out eating raw meat. There's a few people out there that do, but for the majority of you, you know, you are seasoning that meat, that animal flesh, with vegan ingredients. So insects don't matter. Of course insects matter. I don't know where you got that from. Every animal life matters, absolutely. They all deserve to live. They all deserve to live without pain and suffering. They deserve to be free. Herbivore, someone said. Yeah? Yeah. I'm still alive, as people like to claim. Oh, we started with the plants have feelings. It started, Alex. Plants have feelings, yeah, okay. So if your house was on fire and you had to choose between the head of cauliflower in your fridge or your dog on the sofa, is that going to be a hard decision? Because obviously both have feelings, as you so claim. You're gonna save the cauliflower, aren't you? Because plants have feelings, apparently. Such a silly excuse. Yeah, well said, Angel. Well said. Yeah, go and check out in the description of this live stream. There's a link to a 3-minute movie challenge. 3 minutes. That's all it takes. Just go and check it out. It's saved, it has changed so many people's lives. That's just that 3-minute video, you know, and I think everyone should see it for themselves before you then go and make a decision. I saw a poppy smile at me the other day. I love that. Cauliflower is dead by then. Okay, let's use another example then if plants feel pain. Let's say you're driving along and you have a patch of grass or you have a dog. Which one are you going to drive over? Probably going to be the grass, because grass does not feel pain. Exactly. I think people just refuse to look at the footage. It's just so gruesome. Yeah. People just don't want to know. They don't want to know. So that's the thing. That's why we want to get this footage out there as much as we can, so that people realise and make the connection. But a lot of people, they won't even face it. You know, that's what they say. Why are you eating it if you can't even watch it being produced? I think that says everything that we need to know about our food system. The truck coming back out here. That was full of cows when it came in. It's now empty. Get a job. Well, as Alex always says on his streams, you know, you can't have a job if you're vegan. It's illegal. If you're an animal rights activist, you're not allowed to have a job at the same time. Do you not like meat then? No, we don't like meat here. We are vegan. We don't eat any products from animals. So no, we don't like meat. It causes harm, it causes suffering, and it's not needed, it's not necessary. You can eat plants and they taste incredible. You will feel better, you will probably look better, you will be doing better for the planet, you'll be doing better for your own health. You know, obviously the main reason is for the animals, but all of it matters. All of it matters. Meat is yummy. Meat is only yummy because you season it with plants. Sorry to say.
Hello, mate.
Who was that?
Ollie.
Oh, was it?
Is that King?
That was my mate Ollie.
Oh, Ollie. Sorry,
He works around the corner now.
I'm on carnivore diet and I look and feel great. I have nothing to say to you. You know, I don't think that's going to do well for you in the long term, so good luck with that. Do you want to swap?
Right, hi everyone. How's it going in the chat at the moment? Look at this clown, right back at you, whoever that long name is. So, for anyone that has just recently joined, please do check out the video description. As again, go through the 3-minute movie challenge, 3minutes.wtf, go and see exactly what happens to these animals at these facilities. So we are outside a slaughterhouse today in Surrey, a slaughterhouse that was recently exposed under the FSA audit data to basically showing the major non-compliances that happen at this site. So Ange, but thank you for your work. The world will change. Wish I was vegan earlier. Yeah, absolutely. The world will change. And yeah, I think we all wish that we were vegan earlier. We all wish that we had seen the light and we'd seen that connection with animals a lot earlier. Like, I wish that myself. I've been vegan for 5 years in January. But I've always considered myself as an animal lover. I've always considered myself to, in theory, respect animals and be kind to them. And for that latest comment, veganism is ridiculous. Veganism is just meaning that you respect animals. That's it. You're being kind to them. That's the fundamentals of being vegan. So if you don't respect animals, if you're not vegan, is that quote, if you're not vegan, you're an animal abuser. And that is true to the extent that you know that what you're paying for. If you know what happens to animals and you still pay for it, then absolutely, you are not an animal lover. You are an animal abuser. That's just a fact, because otherwise, if you saw what happened and didn't agree with it, then you'd change. And that's exactly what happened to me. I watched a documentary, I watched Earthlings. It's about an hour, 2-hour documentary, and it shows exactly what happens to animals in depth in farming, in slaughterhouses, and at these facilities. And it was at that moment that I realized that I was supporting that industry. I was propping it up. I was paying for it, because it's all relying on supply and demand. So by me paying towards this industry, didn't align with my values, and that's why I had to change. I was obliged to change. I aligned my morals with my actions. So if you were watching this stream and you think that you're an animal lover, if you think that you're someone that respects animals and doesn't want to pay for them to go to slaughter, then you should be vegan. And everyone should be vegan. Like, who in their right mind is actually happy and enjoys cows being taken into some of these facilities to be bolt gunned to the head, be hung up by their legs, and have their throat sliced open? Who in their right mind actually thinks that? And if you do, then, you know, being a proud animal abuser is nothing to shout about. Because if you were in their position, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to be treated the same way. If you were in their position, we'd be fighting for you to get out of those trucks. So someone's put, vegans do not help animals by being vegan. What on earth do you want about? If you're vegan, you're not paying for animals to be sent to slaughterhouses, right? A vegan alone can save about 200 to 300 animals per year for one person. Every time you consume an animal product, every time you buy an animal product off a shelf, you're paying for that animal to be killed. You're replenishing the shelves on the supermarkets. You're directly impacting the amount of animals that are being killed. And you can stop that. You can stop that and be vegan. Just seeing a security truck pull up, I thought that was for us then. When you live on a farm, the slaughtering depends on you. Your math ain't mathin'. Like, you're obviously triggered by, you know, people standing up for animals, which is kind of baffling. But like, what good argument do you actually have what argument do you actually have for not being vegan? Apart from if you're selfish and you just don't care about animals. Someone's put, Betty, don't mention halal and kosher. You know, rewind 10 minutes, I was talking a lot about halal, so fine, but also, what is the difference? There is no difference to what happens to these animals. If it's halal or kosher or stun. We know in this place is a stun slaughterhouse and they don't stun them properly. Animals are being taken to be killed, regardless of the method. Animals are being slaughtered. No animal should be slaughtered, right? So John Cowtag said, you got any moderators, mate? Yeah, I do have moderators, but I believe they are all live streaming elsewhere in the country at the moment. There's a lot of live streamers. This is part of Project Livestream. So maybe people have scrolled through YouTube and seen other activists outside slaughterhouses today. Our good friends Mel and Steve are outside a pig gas chamber down in Bristol way, I think. We've got Soytan Man, if I just pop the camera around. Who's one of the, one of my moderators. He's also live streaming. Feel free to check out his stream. So talk about alternatives to meat, how healthy they are. So with any food products, you can get healthy versions and unhealthy versions. But even, let's say we take a vegan burger or a plant-based burger, compare it to a beef burger, that is far, far healthier than the animal product-based version of it. You're not consuming the cholesterol, you're not consuming the saturated fats in the relation to it, and you're not paying for animals to be killed. So if you want the healthiest, obviously go for a whole food plant-based diet. And that's been seen to be shown that, you know, a healthy diet for all forms of life, from infancy to adulthood to old age, and be fully sufficient. But, you know, in terms of preferences, some people, you know, like the familiarity and the taste of meat. So by having a vegan burger, you know, that way you're still getting the same taste sensation, and yeah, you're not paying for animals to be killed. Let the girl talk, she is far less obnoxious.
No pressure.
Bring over Tash Peterson. So I'm just going through some of the comments.
Big up Tash.
These farmers feel so guilty, yet still push their frustrations onto the animals. So the things with farmers, like, they're stuck in these industries. Is the police turning up for us, or are they not for us? They're not today. Like, farmers don't have to do this, but obviously some farmers, they are solely reliant and on the profit line because they're propped up by the government and the subsidies that are supporting animal agriculture. The meat and dairy industry is heavily subsidized. We need a shift to support farmers in transitioning to plant-based farming instead. That's the transition that needs to happen. You know, we don't want suddenly loads of unemployed farmers. They can still farm crops, and we have examples of farmers that have previously come to these slaughterhouses and have now converted their farms into plant farms, whether it's growing mushrooms or hemp, and turning their farms into a sanctuary and actually caring for the animals. Because some of the farmers, you know, claim to love their animals and care for them, but they then take them to a slaughterhouse. So someone's put, so was it Rene? I was raised on a ranch. We treated our animals with great respect. We treated them with all the respect. My grandfather was a Native American. We hunted for meat. We did not waste. So how do you respect an animal if you're going to kill them at a fraction of their life, even if you don't waste any of their parts? Is that respect? So if I was to kill you and said, well, actually, I'm not gonna waste any of your body parts, does that make it okay? Does that make it respectful? I just tuned in from Canada. Where are you guys? So we're in the UK, we're at Surrey, we're at ABP Guildford Slaughterhouse.
Alex is better at talking than me. I'm good at holding the sign.
The sign that's in reverse. To the
to
front.
there. I thought when I had it upside down, I was like, oh no.
And if you haven't, again, go and watch the video in the video description, and go and watch it for yourself, and come back onto the stream and, you know, tell us what you saw. Go and watch the 3-minute movie. It's in the video description. Hit the 3 dots, go to the description, copy and paste 3minutes.wtf into your browser and watch it. It's completely free.
They didn't need to eat 8 blocks of tofu every day when they were pregnant. Whoa, I don't know a single vegan that eats 8 blocks of tofu every day. That
8 blocks
is
of
dedication
tofu.
to the tofu
Bloody
life.
hell. What are you doing with 8 blocks of tofu every day? What are you doing? We thank them for their sacrifice. Okay, so if I was to sacrifice you and say, I thank you for your sacrifice, I then kill you, that makes it okay? Like, let's debunk, you don't need to eat 8 blocks of tofu to be vegan. You just need to eat plants. You just don't consume animal products as part of the diet. But remember, veganism is the whole principle. It's not just the diet. A vegan is someone who is against the exploitation of animals. Part of that is the diet that we consume, so the animals that people eat, but also it's the clothes we wear, the animals that get tested on, and animals in entertainment. So greyhound racing, horse racing, circuses, zoos, aquariums. All veganism is saying we don't want to exploit them, we don't want to enslave them, we want to be kind and respect them. So everyone in this chat that is arguing against that, you're just saying you don't respect animals, and you're saying that we should just kill them even though we don't need to.
I think Mimi, Kate, you need to take a look at why it is that you're so triggered that we're out here. Is it because you perhaps feel, I don't know, she knows what she's doing is wrong, it must be.
Prolonging the animal's time in a slaughterhouse is abhorrent, it's very selfish. Okay,
she's been arguing that we are making them waste meat because they will be stressed.
So Mimi, you do, if you were watching the stream, you do realise that the truck just went straight in, don't you? The truck literally drove in and went straight in. There is nothing that we did, as much as we would love to stop those trucks and set the animals free, there is nothing that we did or could do. Those animals went straight into the site. Any delays that's happening inside has nothing to do with people outside. You do realise that, Mimi, right?
Yeah, she's probably
asked the same question 3
family.
times. Yeah, I mean, probably propped up by the industry, feels threatened.
Yeah.
Maybe even works as an admin, finance, operations at ABP somewhere.
Robbie.
Yes, the truck waited straight away this time, but you've stopped many more. I'll tell you what, Mimi, send me a link to all the trucks that I have stopped. Please go on, find me that evidence, send it in the chat. Let's see how many trucks that I've stopped. Go on. If you're going to claim it, evidence it. Go on.
I like that.
Go on.
I'm going to claim it, evidence it.
Honestly, so triggered, Mimi. Perhaps you should come and stand outside, and see for yourself and make sure that we don't go anywhere in the road if you're that worried. Come down here and see the animals for yourself.
What's your plan if you did release the animals? Well, unfortunately, it's not as easy as that, but if we could, we would obviously find them a loving home at a sanctuary. But unfortunately, it's not as easy as that. But one day, every animal will be living free, happy lives at a sanctuary as they should.
Yeah, and this is one of the heartbreaking things, is that we don't let animals grow old. You're not letting an animal grow to an old age. Isn't that just so sad? Like, you might have companion animals like a cat or a dog, and they get to live out their lives and maybe die eventually of old age. The animals in the food system are slaughtered at a fraction of their life. They are babies. If they're pigs, they're 6 months old. If they're sheep, they're 4 to 6 months old. If they're cows, they're a year, 2 years old. If they're chickens, they're 42 days old, 6 weeks old. You said yourself it was to take footage and spend time with the cattle before death. Context clues you're spotting, you're causing harm and won't admit it. Yes, we're causing so much harm. I think it's the people that are sending the animals to the slaughterhouse that are causing the harm, not the vegans trying to protect them. And you do realise, by us filming the cows going inside the slaughterhouse trucks, we post that on social media. People see that footage because not everyone walks past these facilities. People see that footage and they go vegan. And guess what? The people that go vegan save 200 animals a year. If you genuinely think that us standing here with a camera is causing harm, you are absolutely deluded and feel so threatened because you're the one who is paying for the animals to go in this place. We wouldn't be here if trucks weren't coming in here. We wouldn't be here if these places didn't exist.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental.
I kind of agree with your views, but you don't have a plan. Who will pay for the sanctuaries or what to do next? So it's not going to happen overnight, unfortunately, as much as that would be great. The decline of the animal agriculture industry is going to happen over time, and the animals are slowly going to be stop being bred into existence. So we will send those animals that are left over to sanctuaries. By that time, so many people in the world hopefully will be vegan for that to happen, that we won't have this problem of animals overrunning or whatever. Can I come live on your sanctuary? Of course, if you're vegan, come and live at the sanctuary, spend time with animals. I think that's such a massive thing, is a lot of people have never spent time with cows and pigs and chickens, and they don't realise how loving they are. They're just so similar to dogs. That's why a lot of people call cows grass puppies, because they are so similar. They want to play in the grass when they get let out for the first time. They see it and they get the zoomies, and they want cuddles and they like listening to music. All of these things, they are no different to a cow. So yeah, come and live on the sanctuary. Hopefully one day the world will be a sanctuary. The world will be a sanctuary for these animals that they don't have to escape from. Do you want me to order you McDonald's while you're just standing there? I don't eat McDonald's, but if I did, I would have a McPlant. Yes, please. So if you want to order me a McPlant, go ahead, but I don't tend to eat McDonald's. Used to have chickens run around, they were fun, great eggs, then Mr. Fox ate them all. Oh, that's sad. That's sad. But yeah, we rescued some battery farmed chickens. They're the chickens that get kept in the tiny little cages. And yeah, they were just lovely. They were so lovely. Unfortunately, they had hardly any feathers left because of what they had to go through, the tiny cages that they were kept in. But yeah, they were so sweet. They've all got unique personalities and little quirks about them, and some of them like certain snacks like cucumber, and then others don't. It's just like humans, it's just like dogs, how they've all got their own personalities, their own characteristics. You can tell one dog from another and it is exactly the same. Very pretty and sweet, albeit misguided with this vegan thing. Thank you. Honestly, have you checked out the video in the description below? Just see what happens to these animals for yourself. I think we are a nation of animal lovers, and we call ourselves that. And we love them. We don't want to hurt them. If a cow was stood in front of you, or a pig, you wouldn't want to hurt it. You wouldn't want to send it to a slaughterhouse. And all I've done really is open my eyes to what it is that happens, and decided that actually I don't want to pay for that anymore. I want to be someone that respects animals and I'm kind to them whenever I can be. And yeah, that's all it is. I know that the word vegan can bring up a lot of mixed emotions. We get a really bad name, but really all we're trying to do is not hurt animals. It's as simple as that. The people that defend slaughterhouses are the ones who are not killing animals. That's not a truck then. The pigs hate you. I don't think the pigs do hate me. I think the pigs actually, if animals could talk, I think they would probably say a great big thank you to all the vegans and animal rights activists that are fighting for them to be free, fighting for them to have basic respect. That is all we want, and I think the pigs would be very grateful for that. Mimi Kate's cognitive difficulty. I think she has just grown up in a world that brainwashes us essentially to think that these things are normal. They teach us that it's normal, natural, necessary. The 3 N's: normal, natural, necessary. And I think she has been victim of this, that she's been told that it's the right thing to do, that that is how we live, that is natural to do it, and it's really not, you know. It's been shown that you can live a happy and healthy life without harming animals. You have one? Yeah. Girl, you're a dreamer. The world will never be vegan. I agree the animals should be treated with respect till their time comes. But why can't you treat them with respect all the time? You know, if you know that you've got two choices. You've got a choice where you can eat something that you know harms the animal, or you can eat something that doesn't, you know, and it's so easy to pick the option that doesn't. It's so easy. You know, I hope that one day the world will be vegan. I don't think it will be in my lifetime, thank you. Unfortunately, all we can do is hope. But one day, you know, little by little, people are going to wake up and open their eyes to the truth. Got a hot water in a reusable cup because it's so cold out here. So apologies that the steam is going to be all up in my face. Hi Veronica, thanks for being here. So Mimi is saying that we are selfish, which is ironic for somebody that is defending animal abuse and exploitation. You know, we're not selfish, we are the opposite. We think about these animals, we don't want harm to come to them, so we are doing a selfless act by being vegan and ensuring that this doesn't happen to them. So thank you, Mimi, for your contribution, but I think it's a little bit ironic that you're calling us selfish.
Red truck coming.
Oh, we have a truck coming.
If you want to hold the camera, and I'll get it on my GoPro.
Okay.
So guys, there's just a truck coming at the moment. Feel free to screen record. Just point.
Is your thing on? Yeah.
Very angry man, aren't you? You're very angry. So if you can see on the ground here, all the feces, this is the shit, the cows' feces that have come out of this truck. Cows are literally shitting themselves, scared to death, and the trail goes inside. And if you see up, you can see the truck reversing in now. They are so scared that they actually have diarrhea because they are so petrified of what's going to happen to them. And it's just heartbreaking. It really is. There is no need to pay for this. Absolutely no need. Just grab my camera.
Nice one, Cliff. Cliff said, trespass is not a criminal offence. Tell him to piss off, Alex.
Okay, my chat has just popped into Alex's chat and I was like, wow, Alex has got a lot of trolls in the chat. Hi Alex's trolls. How you doing?
Yeah.
Great to
Go
have
vegan.
everyone here.
Stop paying for animal abuse.
Well said. Yeah, so if you purchase animal products, meat from the supermarket, you are paying for what you've just seen for these animals to be driven in there and have uncontrollable diarrhea because they are so scared. I can't get that back on.
Who's in the
Can't get it on.
Who's in the chat at the moment? Then have we got many trolls? Hold that one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So yeah, for anyone who did just see that, Mimi, did you see that? Did you see the truck come in? Full of shit all over the floor because those cows had such fear. Some of these cows are transported miles and miles on these long, treacherous journeys. They're thrown about on these trucks and they are so fearful. That is why the shit is literally dripping out the bottom of the van onto the floor. That has nothing to do with activists. That has to do with cows traveling far from farms to be sent to slaughterhouses. So let's put another poll in the chat now we've got some more people in. Do you Okay, so the poll's up. Let's just see what sort of people we have in the room right now. So the question is, do you respect animals? It's already gone cold. This has already gone cold.
Oh, really? That's my feet.
So at the moment, everyone's saying yes. So yeah, please vote on the poll and we'll talk about the poll in a second. Stupid, Paul, because you don't even know what respect is. Pill popper, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, pill popper? Pill popper? Mark Wilson online, yes, I'm trying to educate. So far, 100% respect animals. 100% so far. Any more votes? Any more votes? Oh, it's hot. 10 votes in, 100% respect animals. So, those 10 people that clicked yes, are you vegan? Put in the chat if you voted yes and if you're vegan or not. If you pick the vote, put in the comments if you're vegan or not. Explain to me what your definition of respect means to animals. Respect means to not exploit them, to not cause unnecessary harm or violence towards them, to be kind to them. That's what respect means. So K Blossom, yes, 100%. Angel, yes, brilliant. So at the moment, everyone is 100% is saying, greetings on the other stream. So 100%, so we've got Soytan Man here as well. He's also live streaming at the moment. We could put the cameras together actually. That could be quite fun. Like when we respond to both. So interestingly, so far everyone in the poll has voted for yes, in that they respect animals.
Okay.
So I'm asking them if they voted yes,
Yeah.
also put yes and if they're vegan or not.
Interesting.
So you my size, you put yes and no. So is that yes, you respect animals and no, you're not vegan?
Yeah.
And Mark Wilson online, not vegan because I respect animals. What are you on about? What do you
He's saying
eat
he's
that
not
doesn't
vegan
hurt animals?
because
So
he
you,
respects animals.
so Mark Wilson online, what is your logic? Because if you're consuming animals, you're paying them for them to die. So if you really respect animals, you wouldn't pay for them to die. What part of that is kind of lost in your logic there? Interesting that now some people are also voting no. Some people are just horrible people, people that don't respect animals.
Somebody's commenting on the Greg's.
Oh yeah, I had this last time. What's the comment on the Gregs?
that we're
interest.
using paper cups that come from companies that hurt animals.
Yeah, so what's interesting about this lovely Greg's cup, and this is not an advertisement, we got them for free, they gave them to us, they donated them to us. So, yeah.
I just want to add as well, it says about like you can't avoid hurting animals, but the difference is intentional harming of animals versus not. So it's the difference between if you see a puppy run out in the road and you can't brake in time, you've killed the puppy, but you didn't intend to do it, it was an accident. It's just an unavoidable side effect. Occasionally that happens when you drive. Versus if you see a puppy on a pavement or a sidewalk, depending on where you're from, and you swerve to hit it intentionally, there's a little bit of a difference. If you run someone's puppy over deliberately versus an accident, a court is going to look at that in a very different way. And it's the same with animals and plants. Like, you can just not kill animals deliberately.
That's a really good analogy about that, like a puppy, stepping out in front of you on the road. Yeah, it's intentional versus unintentional. So I don't know what Mark Wilson Online's response to that was.
Somebody says put the mug down and be cold.
So Pill Puppet, he will now say if you eat meat, you don't respect animals, principle and logic is flawed. Yeah, 100%. So those that have said no, the 12% of people that said you don't respect animals, at least you are living in alignment with your values. You're saying, no, I just don't give a shit about animals, and you're happy them to be killed. At least you're in alignment with your values. 88% of you are saying, yes, you respect animals, but you're still paying for these animals to go to slaughterhouses. And that's the connection that you need to make now. So those 88% have said yes. Your logical next step now is to be vegan. That is your logical next step. And if you want to learn more about that, again, go to the video description and watch 3minutes.wtf. It's completely free to watch, and you can see exactly what happens to those animals. So you've heard us talking about respect to animals. Go and watch the footage for yourself and know that you can transition like that to being vegan. Overnight, you can just say, right, that's it. I'm not going to pay for animal exploitation anymore. You swap the foods you eat, the clothes you wear, the things you go and do in your, in your spare time and entertainment. It's as simple as that. It's the mindset of, we don't need to exploit animals. We are not oppressing them. Let's be kind and live on this planet with them.
If you have a puppy, how do you feed it without meat? Omni. There are various pet foods, plant-based pet foods.
Yeah,
available.
Omni, Benevo. So yeah, studies have shown that dogs can thrive on plant-based foods. So if you look up Dr. Andrew Knight, he's done countless studies on this and shows that you can, your companion animals can thrive on plant-based diets. So Kay Blossom, we should live trying to do the least harm as practically possible. Some choices are just obvious, go vegan. Yeah, 100% Kay. I would try and pin that comment if I could. Yeah, we should live without harming others as far as practically possible. That is the definition, really, of veganism. And the people that are consuming animal products, that's not necessary, that's not mandatory. You don't have to consume animal products to survive.
Also, dogs don't need to eat animal products either to survive. You say they shouldn't be on plant-based diets. Dogs are omnivores, the same as humans. They can thrive and survive very well on a plant-based diet, and I have friends that have plant-based dogs that have lived long beyond the normal lifespan. Same thing with humans. Meat is not good for your health. Dogs may eat animals, but they don't have to eat animals.
Mimi again, that's false. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Mimi, go and have an argument with Dr. Andrew Knight, who's done countless peer-reviewed independent studies on this. And again, like, okay, if dogs couldn't survive on them, well, explain all the cases where dogs have actually thrived and become far healthier and lived longer on plant-based diets. And the fact that, you're admitting they're an omnivore means that we have the choice. We're omnivores. We have the choice. We can consume animal products, but we can consume plants. So let's just consume the plants and not kill the animals.
I just want to point out to Ray here. Ray says respect for animals is a spectrum, not a dichotomy. Sorry, my brain's not working. Dichotomy.
Yeah.
Would we apply this logic to humans? So respect for women and children. Is there a spectrum of abuse that you can get away with towards humans, children? Is it a spectrum to hit them, to abuse them in other ways? If you do it lightly, if you do it nicely, is that okay?
Yeah, thanks for the support, John Caltag. Good to have you in the chat. Peter have been solely responsible for the worst. Honestly, Mimi, you're just someone in this industry trying to disrupt veganism because you're so threatened by it. You're going in on Peter now. Like, what next? You're going to go and oh, I don't even know what's next for you. Your options are endless, aren't they?
Soon she'll be saying the RSPCA are great.
It's also funny saying Peter's got the solely responsible for the worst animal welfare when we're outside a slaughterhouse that had 6 major failings, 18
Yeah.
minor failings, and those major failings are relating to animals being herded into the slaughterhouse and also the stunning being improper. So I think Peter are doing a much more bang up job than the slaughterhouses that every day are killing animals and, you know, providing animals with a really horrible environment full of fear and stress in their last hours.
And you do realise Peter is an organisation trying to protect animals. Anything that you've heard is because there was a mass smear campaign from probably the industry that you are in, Mimi. You probably created the whole campaign against Peter for all we know. Although the RSPCA is horrendous too. That we can agree on.
Bloody hell. Yeah,
That,
we agree on
that we can agree on, Mimi. Ding, ding, ding. We have a moment on agreement.
Common ground.
We also agree about the RSPCA. So for anyone that doesn't know, look up the RSPCA Assured Scheme. The RSPCA Assured Scheme basically sticks a stamp on meat and dairy products and farms to say that they are a certain level of welfare, and actually countless exposés and investigations have shown them to be absolutely horrendous. The treatment is no different to any other farm. There is no welfare standards. It is a humane washing scheme to actually promote meat and dairy products. The RSPCA, I think last year alone, earned £6 million in their Assured Scheme. So yeah, we're also calling RSPCA to drop the Assured Scheme. Absolutely. K9 Nick, never met a vegan yet that will talk to me. I'm talking to you. Hello.
Hello, another vegan.
2 in one day. Make it
And
3.
me.
Ah, 3 in one
Hi.
day. Yeah, as with these live streams, put the comments in the chat and we'll respond to them. We want this to be constructive. We'd prefer the comments to be actual legitimate comments where you'll have genuine questions about veganism, about what happens to animals, because we have between us a wealth of knowledge from very different areas. So please just put your questions in, whether it's about dairy industry, the egg industry, farming, whether it's about pets and companion animals, about horse racing, greyhound racing. Veganism just is against all of that because we don't want to exploit animals for any industry.
Just to point out with Ray's comment about would you chastise a toddler for touching an electrical socket? I would say it's abuse depending on whether the parent could have prevented that. You wouldn't have a go at the toddler because toddlers, much like animals, don't have a sense of morality or a sense of safety to themselves. So it's up to the humans, the adult humans, that can make these decisions to protect them. So yeah, you'd protect a toddler, you'd protect an animal, and you wouldn't put the blame on them.
That's an interesting one. Couldn't you be doing fundraising things and buy the cows yourself and put them in a safe place? I mean, we could, but ultimately that doesn't stop the demand for the products. We could do that with, say, 5 cows, but they're still being bred into existence and brought to these places because people are demanding the product still. By purchasing it, you're essentially saying to the supermarket, I like this, I want this to continue happening. So if we take it from that angle, then that's not going to do much. So by live streaming and raising awareness this way, we are hoping to stop the demand, tackle it from that front.
What have we got? So K9 Nick, the one that never gets vegans to respond to him, says, look, you're all about living animals, but the animal world would not be alive if we're not meant for food. Animals are not meant for food. They're not meant for anything. Just like you or I are not meant for anything. We are just living on this planet. It's such an oppressive mindset to say that the animals are here for a purpose. They're not here for us at all. They have nothing to do with you.
So I was going to add into this. If there's a choice between not being born
I've
at
lost
all
mine.
or being born into a life of abuse, exploitation and suffering, I think you would probably want to not be born.
Oh.
But imagine if a human had a child and said, I have this child, this is my child, I can do with this child what I like. You can't. There are laws against that. As we've seen with many cases of child abuse, for instance. And the same would go for dog abuse. You can't just say, I'm going to breed a dog into existence, I can kick it, I can do anything I want to it. Similarly, you'd be arrested for that as well. So it's seen in the animal kingdom. So there's no excuse either way. You can't just breed something into existence, a living sentient being, and say, well, it's mine, therefore I get to do what I want with it.
So Mimi, you put calling the only two industry experts in here plants is so intellectually dishonest it's scary. So please, Mimi, explain what you're an industry expert in, what your role is, and let's talk about it. Hey Jake, good to see you, man.
How's it going, Jake? You good? Oh, what? Right.
Nutritionist.
Mimi, do you want to talk about how cows cause cancer then? You know how red meat is like a carcinogen?
Bacon, ham, processed meats, class 1 carcinogen, same level as tobacco, cigarettes. Not the healthiest, is it? Yeah, she's gone quiet now. She's gone quiet. It might have been over there when the security were like pushed me. Tastes better than cigarettes. Well, yeah, and you can get the same taste without the animal, so that's a kind of redundant argument. Just like processed veggies. Processed veggies, yeah, like broccoli and carrots and beans.
Also ignoring all the hormones and antibiotics and things that go into animal foods.
Yeah.
Did you know a lot of animal products go to market and they don't cut the cancer or the tumours out? So there is stuff on the shelves of pus with tumours with cancer in, and you're consuming that directly as well.
Yeah. I wonder though, the people that are trying to defend this industry, so Mimi and your, oh, here we go. I'm an animal bioscientist and ruminant nutritionist. I have worked in the industry for 15 years. You can Google my scientific articles online. You are unteachable.
Yeah.
You must be so good at your job that you can't teach us. Wow, you are an expert. So you're a scientist and ruminant nutritionist.
Well, of course she's going to be pro-animal abuse. Her job depends on it. There's a bit of bias going on there.
So what about does your research ever look into the British Dietetic Association, the American Dietetic Association, the associations that have proven that a plant-based diet is sufficient throughout all forms of life, from infancy to adulthood to old age? Have you looked into that? Countless peer studies?
NHS as well.
NHS, yeah.
As a ruminant nutritionist, that's a nutritionist for ruminant animals, right?
Yeah, and you do realise that I could work in an industry for 15 years, call myself an expert, but that actually means nothing. I could publish articles. I get my mates to review it, you know. Just because you've worked in something for so long doesn't mean you're an expert and that your state of the fact is right. So I'll tell you what, Mimi, let's divert the conversation a little bit, because you're clearly so well knowledgeable in your field. Are you against animal experimentation? Are you against rats and mice being injected with tumours and diseases? Are you against that as well, or are you for that?
Huh?
Very quiet.
Yeah. Very quiet.
Some sort of delivery vehicle going in.
You reckon it might be
I'm waiting for Mimi to see what her response is in this. I mean, so the Vanishing Monster said if that doesn't happen, then how will medical science evolve? Yeah, so, I mean, to summarise this, we are still doing animal experimentation tests that are nearly 100 years old. Look up the LD50 test. You're basically getting a portion of rats and mice, and you're injecting them with a lethal dose until 50% of them die. This is over 100 years old, yet over 92% of the tests that pass the animal trials fail human clinical trials. Mimi, you can't publish peer-reviewed articles like I can and do. My argument is not that a human can't survive on a vegan diet, eat what you want, just be honest. Right, so you've admitted right there that you can survive on a vegan diet. So why would you not be promoting that? If we know we can survive on it, why on earth are you saying that, oh, we should just kill animals for fun then? You've literally answered and proven that we don't need to consume animals. So by doing that is therefore a choice. So you've just admitted that killing animals for food is a choice and it's unnecessary.
Also, you say eat what you want, it's eat who you want is what you should be saying. Animals aren't objects.
Yeah, nice.
K Blossom, why choose cruelty? Exactly, yeah, John Caltag, LD50 is awful, yeah.
And also, if you're so peer reviewed and you're up to that level of research, and you also know, one, again, animal products like meat are unhealthy for you and are contributors to the largest, like the most common causes of serious disease. And also you'll know how really bad for the environment products like meat are, especially cows.
So Mika, I haven't done the research into it, honestly. Human nutrition is my field. I'm not willing to make statements based on feelings. So if I was to tell you hypothetically, without you knowing, the research behind it, if I told you that animal experiments are unnecessary and we have better science out there, theoretically, would you be for or against that? Without looking at the data, theoretically, if we didn't need to test on animals, would you be against the fact that we still do it today? Yes, processed meat is the same category of carcinogens as tobacco and alcohol. What does that have to... Well, it has to do with the fact that if you're promoting meat and dairy products, you're promoting the same carcinogens, right? As a nutritionist, you'd know that.
Statistically, vegans are going to have much lower rates of disease, serious diseases like cancer, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, blood pressure, all of the major diseases, way lower risk on a plant-based diet.
So the vanishing monsters, but how will the testing be done then? So as I mentioned earlier, so 92% of animal experiments fail human clinical trials. Some of these tests are nearly 100 years old. We have science out there that, for example, we have organ on a chip. This is chips that can mimic human organs, livers, guts, lungs, and you can test substances and process it through organs on a chip. Gives you far more reliable results because we're testing on human organs, not on animal organs, which are different species. Animals are different species to us. If you have a dog or a companion animal as a dog, you'd know that if you feed them chocolate, that is toxic to them. That can kill them. But we can consume chocolate as humans, right? Some species are allergic to paracetamol, to penicillin, yet we're testing on those same animals to give us results. So we have humane solutions, which are organ on a chip. We have 3D models, we have computer models and simulations, and we have skin cells. Surely, conceptually it makes sense that if we're testing substances for human diseases and human corrections, we would test it on the human being, not on a species that is very different to us, even if there might be some similarities. There was a test that TGN1412, look up TGN1412. This was a test that passed all the many varying layers of the animal clinical trials. They tested it almost up to 100 times the potency of that substance. And when they brought in 6 humans for the human trials, all 6 of them are now left with lifelong health conditions. Some of them lost limbs. And that was all based on, even though the animal part study passed correctly, even at a much stronger dosage, still it failed the humans, and now those 6 humans are in lifelong conditions.
Well said, Alex.
So John Caltag, Alex, but I'm glad you mentioned vivisection. Unfortunately, a lot of the AR movements have forgotten about it, and it's coming back to the heart campaigns, and of course, MBR, Camp Beagle, that place is on its legs. If anyone wants to look up MBR Acres, look up Camp Beagle. They've been campaigning for years outside every single day. It's a puppy factory in the UK. Again, they're breeding puppies to take to laboratories for toxicology tests that we know are absolutely useless. And again, people on this chat might be completely against that. The thought of puppies, beagles being bred and then tortured on in their thousands every year.
Mm-hmm.
Rally the clan says,
take-
you're pale and skinny, mate, go eat a steak and get some meat on you. There's an effing war coming and you're here crying like a B-word about human nature. You might
you
say
sound
that
lovely.
war is human nature because we're not very good at getting rid of it, are we? So are you in favour of war as well? Because it's natural?
Also, why is it bad to be pale and skinny, first of all?
Also,
Right.
we're talking about skin colour.
Yeah.
Brown here, hardly pale.
At least we
Quite-
haven't
quite
got high
muscly actually
cholesterol.
as well.
Yeah.
We lift. Not that you have to be, because if you look at it, if you look at the statistics, the majority of people are unhealthy and overweight in this country, right? Same with other Western countries. What do the majority of people eat? Well, meat. You tripped up there. Plants.
Plants.
They might have the
I
odd
wish.
plant. Yeah. But that's it. Hospitals are full of people, meat eaters. They're full of people overweight with heart disease,
Yeah.
type 2 diabetes, various cancers that could have been preventable, high blood pressure. The biggest killers in the world, in like, if you look at the media, they say like war and violence are the biggest killers. No, stuff like heart disease are. And
Yeah.
that's exacerbated by things like animal products. Now,
Read How Not to Die. Have you read that? By
yeah, How Not
Michael
to
Greger.
Die. Exactly.
Crazy.
Animal products are a major
Absolutely
contributor
crazy.
to human mortality.
Yeah.
So weak and skinny, I think you'd rather be alive and weak and skinny than dead and overweight.
But either way, you know, two muscly guys here. You don't need to eat meat to be muscly, to put on muscle. You can do it with plants.
Mark, you say you're dedicated most of your life to helping animals, which is great, and learning about global food security. Well, if you're looking at global food security, you would know that statistics show that a plant-based diet, a world on a vegan life, like living vegan, all eating plant-based, would actually free up so much more land for agriculture. The UK, for instance, has enough to feed 200 million people. We have 70 odd million people here. Same with America. They could feed the entire country, like, basically once again. We have enough food on this planet to feed way more people than in existence, but we feed it to animals, which is just calorie inefficient. It's the same, it's like you would feed an animal up to slaughter age, and every calorie after that is not growing. That's why they killed them so young. But you're not getting all those calories back anyway. It's energy inefficient to give plants to animals. It's much more energy efficient to feed humans. And global food insecurity is going to be made worse by animal agriculture overall. So if you're in that industry, if you're looking at that, then you should have already seen the stats. Land use, deforestation, water quality, all of it's decreasing. All of it's, climate change is majorly caused by a few different areas, but animal agriculture is one of the biggest ones.
Yeah. Well said, John.
Maybe about the insecticides, there's a lot of misinformation about this. There were a few studies back in the early 2000s, I think. I can't remember the name.
You alright? Oh. There you go.
And that's the thing. But it's still a lot less, even with stuff like pesticides and with farm machinery overall. If there's a better system, of course we would support it, but you know, an imperfect system that tries to minimise the amount of harm is all we've got.
The vehicle idling nearby has almost completely cut the audio. Yeah, there was a vehicle that went in and I think it parked up, but hopefully they shut up in a minute, but also probably because you're not mic'd up.
Yeah, I forgot about that. If I turn
Yeah.
mine off, I can't hear Aaron.
So yeah, for anyone that's just joined the chat again, so we're at ABP Guildford. We're at a slaughterhouse that takes in dairy cows as well as beef cows. So dairy cows that will be about 3 years old after a life of forcible impregnation. They're forcibly inseminated. They are taking the bull from the semen to inject into the mother through the rear to impregnate the female cow. Once the mother cow gives birth, the babies are taken from them. If they're male, they're either killed within the first couple of weeks because they're a waste product to the industry, or they're killed after a couple of months if they're male and sent to the veal industry. And if they're female, they're still separated from their mothers because the milk intended for their young is actually sold and packaged up into supermarkets and sent to you, the paying customer, as a demand for that product. And this cycle goes until the cows are about 3 years old, and at about 3 to 5 years old, they are so exhausted from the relentless milk production, the environment they're in, and they are taken to slaughter because they're no longer profitable and their milk production declines. So, you know, even vegetarians, if you're supporting the dairy industry, you're still supporting the killing of cows at these facilities. So what's really interesting about this specific location today is that there was an article released from the FSA audit findings, the Food Standards Agency, a public body that audits slaughterhouses and other food facilities, has flagged this slaughterhouse, ABP Guildford, for 6 major, these are not minor, 6 major non-compliances. That is for improper stunning of animals. That is for improper use of equipment, improper use of instruments, improper handling and the movement of the animals. So even if, you know, in a slaughterhouse you have this kind of welfareist thinking, oh, well, it's humane, it's done quickly. Absolutely not, and this audit findings prove that the animals are treated horrendously, from the trucks that they get transported in, to be taken into the layerage, taken into the knock box, where cows are bolt gunned to the head 3, 4, 5 times in the attempt to stun them, which doesn't even work, to try and render them unconscious. Again, it doesn't work, so they'll hang them up by their legs, they will slice their throats open while still conscious. And this is all because consumers pay for meat products and pay for dairy products. And that is why we are here today, is to educate you, the public, to show you exactly what happens inside these facilities and to go and watch the footage for yourself. In this video description, there is a link to 3minutes.wtf. You can watch exactly at 3 minutes, in 3 minutes, what happens to these animals. And you can also see the article linked to this specific slaughterhouse, the findings of that FSA audit. So Mimi said, yeah, age 3 cows are at peak production, at least at the very least, don't lie. So I'll tell you where I get my statistics from. We did a Freedom of Information to DEFRA, the body that governs this data, and we got the exact statistics of how old the cows are, from how old the calves are. So 12,000 calves are killed at 1 month old, 13,000 calves are killed at 2 months old. And that the figure over time, so on a span of 0 to 20 years, the peak slaughter age is between 3 and 4 years old. This is Freedom of Information from DEFRA, the governing body of this data. If you don't believe me, go and check it out. But this is publicly available statistics. Yeah, Kay Blossom, we feed 200 billion animals and we can't feed 8 billion. Yeah, we farm crops to feed way more animals in existence, yet we're struggling to feed 8 billion. It's such an inefficient system. If we rewilded the land, if we turned land from animal agriculture into plant-based production, we can rewild up to 75% of arable farmland across the world. 3/4 of the land we could rewild. We could allocate some of that to plant farming and rewild the rest to nature.
Someone above said, why can't we eat eggs?
Do you want to answer that? I mean, so the egg industry, like the dairy industry, so people that are vegetarians think, okay, well, eggs is okay. Eggs is absolutely not okay. If you look up what happens in the egg industry, and again, watch the 3-minute movie, you can see it for yourself. So egg-laying hens are, again, slaughtered at about 1 to 2 years old because they are bred to produce, I think is it 300 eggs per year, when in nature, they'd only produce about 10 to 12 eggs per year. So they're producing thousands, well, 100, how many times more of that? 300 eggs per year, and they should be producing 12. They are bred to produce far more eggs than they should, which means that they have health implications, their bodies can't move. They're also kept in confinement, not to the free-range belief that people are led to believe. But also I think the myth and well, not the myth, the lie that the industry doesn't tell us is that in the egg industry, when they hatch these eggs, the males, what happens to the males? Same as the dairy industry. They're not of any use to this industry. Male chicks that are hatched in 1 day are sent to a macerator, basically a big conveyor belt and a blender, and they blend up male chicks on their first day of life because they are no use and they will not produce eggs.
Mimi thinks they live to 10 plus. I don't know where she's getting her information from.
Oh, Mimi, these aren't dairy cows being slaughtered. They are mated at 2 years old. This would be unprofitable, like I said.
This is publicly available information by DEFRA. They are part of the animal agriculture industry. Why would they lie?
You can look up these stats, but also even if the data's out there, go and look it up. But also, I've been outside slaughterhouses countless times and spoken with farmers, and they have shown and told us how old their livestock are. We ask them how old their sheep are, and they say between 4 and 6 months old. We've asked them how old their dairy cows are, and they often say 3 or 4 or 5 years old. We've seen this, and we know people in the industry agree with this. The data proves it, and we've seen it for ourselves. They would not be profitable because their milk production declines because they're milked so relentlessly. You know, go to farms and see it for yourself. I've been to farms and I've seen cows on their last legs. They're almost disease-ridden. Their bodies cannot cope with their weight. They can barely stand. You can see these videos where they almost have to get a forklift and a crane to pick up these dairy cows who are under 5 years old. Yeah, cows can live to over 20 years old, yet we slaughter them. On average, the peak rate is between 3 and 5 years old.
I've never had a swallow of milk in my life. Well, that's a good thing. I hope you're drinking oat milk instead. Anyone can say, this is John, anyone can say they are some expert and start trolling the chat. They always get found out when they make such fundamental mistakes. Exactly. It is just ridiculous. Some of the claims that people make, you can see it for yourself. You can watch the 3-minute movie challenge in the description below. It is just insane what happens to these animals. Watching this as my bacon sizzles away in the pan. Dear God, it smells delicious. It's a lovely comment. You know, it's not worth an animal's life for some breakfast. You know, you could have so many different options instead. And I will never understand, you know, some of you commenting in here, laughing, thinking it's all a joke, how this is a joke to you. Why are you defending animal abuse? Why is that something that you feel you want to defend? Do you really want to look back at this time in your life and think, I'm so glad that I defended that cruelty, I'm so glad that I didn't speak up for the animals? Choose the right side of history, guys. Go vegan. It's so worth it, lady, because man eat meat. Wow. You sound like you have the IQ of a caveman. You hurt animals too, quit blaming others. I'm not saying that I don't, but as Aaron described, Storytime Man described earlier, there is a very big difference between purposely killing an animal and accidentally, indirectly. You know, there's that whole argument of indirect versus direct. By being vegan, you are doing everything possible in your power, as practical as possible, to avoid harming animals. And that is what we choose to do. You know, unfortunately, yeah, there are farming methods that might hurt other animals, and it's not fair that that happens. And we try everything we can to avoid harming animals. In the future, farmers will be vegan and they will choose more ethical and humane methods of farming. But at the stage that we're in, unfortunately, we can only do what we physically can. And the best way to harm the least amount of animals is to go vegan. You can choose the scale of harm, so why cause more harm than necessary? Exactly, Kay, exactly. You know, you've got a scale here, you've got this option, which is, I 100% want to harm animals, that's buying meat, buying dairy, buying eggs. You've got this scale here, up the other end, buy vegan, buy plants. It's so easy. All you have to do is go to a different part of the supermarket. Try some different things. You know, if you're sat in this chat, you might not be commenting, you might just be listening, and you're thinking you might actually be open to this. Just head to the supermarket, swap out some things in your meals. Just try it. Guarantee it's easy. Guarantee. And you won't look back. The only regret I have from going vegan is the fact that I didn't do it sooner. You know, it's so easy. If you think plants have feelings, you didn't graduate elementary school. Yes. Yes, Jake, I have already tried to ask these people if, if there was a patch of grass in the road on one side and there was a dog on the other, which one are they going to drive over? Apparently these people think that a patch of grass has the same feeling as a dog, but here we are. Is that place you're at looking for people to work at? I'd love a job there. Well, if you really love a job killing animals, then, oh, God help you. I mean, I hope you're just doing that because you're trolling, but if you're truly a psychopath, then great. Plus, many plants want to be eaten, then drop fruit, so animals will distribute their seeds. Exactly. Exactly. And if you truly believe that plants feel pain, if you are a plants rights activist in this chat right now, the best thing you can do is go vegan, because majority of the plants are fed to animals to feed them, which you then eat. So there you go. No, just looking for a job, thanks. Well, do you know, I'd rather work anywhere else than a place like this. It is hell on earth for these animals. A psychopath would stand outside a slaughterhouse all day preaching. No, a psychopath would understand what happens to these animals. They would see it and they would continue paying for it. Do I work? Yes, I do. Thank you. The psychopaths are inside. Exactly. Exactly. We're the ones outside. All we're asking is that people respect animals and that they are kind to animals and that they make the connection of what the animal that is on their plate is an individual. They are a living, feeling, sentient being who wants to live, who wants freedom, who doesn't want to suffer, doesn't want to feel pain, exactly the same as us. That is all we're asking. You know, the word vegan often triggers a lot of these emotions of hatred, but literally all we're doing is asking people to respect animals. We do not have 4 stomachs like a cow does. I don't know when I claimed that one. We understand, we don't care. Well, leave the stream then if you don't care. This isn't for you. I'm talking to people that have empathy, that love animals, and I want them to align their actions with their beliefs, with their values. I recently attended John Ronson's Psychopath live show, and I've read the Psychopath Test. I read that book. That was very interesting, wasn't it? Something like 1 in 3 CEOs, I think it was. 1 in 3 CEOs are sociopaths or psychopaths, I can't quite remember. Very, very interesting book. It was many years ago that I read that, but it does make you wonder who you walk past, doesn't it? Yeah. Nice.
I can't stand to watch this animal abuser blame others for the suffering that vegan diet causes. Again, accidental versus purposeful is a major thing here. You can't eliminate animal deaths in any system because we're humans, we live in a technological society, it's unavoidable, but you can avoid intentional suffering.
Yeah.
And you can try and minimise it. If you find new ways of getting rid of even more suffering, great.
Exactly.
We can only do what we can in the systems we have. We can go vegan, we can stop paying people to breed animals into existence to kill them.
Unmute. So yeah, not sure what's just been happening in the last few minutes.
Back for another lip sync.
It's the what?
Because I think there was like sound issues there.
Oh. Is it working now? Hello. You can't respect someone's belief when they're a victim. So
Exactly.
yeah. So yeah, for anyone who hasn't yet, please go to the video description, check out that 3-minute movie, check out the Animal Aid article on this slaughterhouse. But know that, you know, we're all vegan because we realised what we do to animals is wrong, and we don't have to be a part of that system. And the system relies on supply and demand. So when we stop demanding these products, stop paying for them and buying plant-based alternatives, is that big red truck that came in earlier. This is where all the shit was basically dripping out the bottom of the truck. Huge truck. There'll be dozens of cows inside there, and yeah, so they have already been offloaded, and they will be. As Mr. Security Man. Hello.
Doesn't like being on camera, does he?
He doesn't. No, he's a bit scared. Hey Megan, thanks for being in the chat.
Hey Megan, how's it going?
So yeah, we've been here, I mean, live streaming well over 2 hours now. Blimey, the time's gone super quick. So yeah.
Look at all those burgers. I mean, that was an empty truck that went out. The only thing on screen is like grass.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at all these plant-based burgers you could be consuming with the grass.
Secretly, I think Riley's vegan, you know.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think he's just trolling for fun.
Yeah. So Megan, I don't know how long you've been on the stream for, but if you check the video description or check out Animal Aid's latest post, so there's been FSA audit data found at this facility that have showed 6 major non-compliances. That is for the stunning of animals, improper stunning of animals, improper handling, improper movement of these animals. So basically, the animals have been treated horrendously, even though they're going to be slaughtered anyway. The system and the facilities and the operating procedures happening inside the site are also not meeting standards. So 6 major non-compliances, 18 minor non-compliances in the FSA audit at this ABP Guildford site. So we want to amplify that message. So anyone who doesn't know, there's the article in the video description, and you can check out the social media posts on Animal Aid's Instagram as well. And yeah, so please, if you have any questions that you want to follow up with and actually have discussions with outside of the live stream, my Instagram is alex.activism, alexactivism. You can find my social media in the video description. And also, if you just double tap the screen and like this video and subscribe, you'll see more live streams where we'll be outside farms, slaughterhouses, meat markets, wherever we try and expose what's happening to animals, we can be there and live stream there. So do subscribe and see what we're doing to try and protect these animals and raise the awareness. So, yeah.
Riley says he works in vegan food production. He could school these wet wipes.
Work in vegan food production. So you work on farming that farms crops. So that's vegan food production. Sweet corn, broccoli. Thanks Kay for being in the chat as well. Really appreciate the vegan support in here.
Which company do you work for, Riley?
GMO sweet corn.
As opposed to artificially grown cows full of hormones, antibiotics.
Carcinogens, yeah. All of the
Tumours.
above. Are you going after the halal slaughterhouses? We're going after all slaughterhouses. So if you didn't tune in earlier, the difference between a halal slaughterhouse and this site is, in theory, they stun the animals at this place and they don't stun them at halal places. Yet this specific site has flagged in their latest audit a major non-compliance for improper stunning of animals. And footage has shown that these cows are being bolt gunned 3, 4, 5, sometimes more times because the stunning just simply doesn't work. They're still going to be killing these animals, killing the cows, hang them up by their legs and slicing their throats, and they're still conscious. So there really is no difference in a halal slaughterhouse to a stun slaughterhouse because the cows are killed eventually in the same manner, and the stunning doesn't even work. So if you're against halal slaughterhouses, you should also be against non-halal slaughterhouses.
Riley says he works for Beyond Meat. Is Beyond Meat the one that tests on animals, so a lot of vegans avoid anyway?
I don't know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Was
there's
it
some testing
impossible
on rats.
or?
Pretty
Avoid
sure. Beyond
boycott.
Meat's not a great one, I don't think.
So why wouldn't you go to the worst offenders? I mean, prove that they're the worst offenders. Prove that.
Yeah.
Because inside these facilities where we've had footage, there is no difference, if not, could be even worse of how they treat the animals inside. The improper use of equipment, improper stunning, the movement, the handling. You know, you might see in investigations where they're literally beating these animals, they're kicking them, they're punching them, they're using instruments and weapons to bat these animals. If you're against halal slaughterhouses, you should be against all slaughterhouses.
Sorry about Muslim lovers.
Yeah, this is always about the animals. No matter how high welfare, low welfare, the treatment of them, if animals are being exploited and sent into these places, where they're sent into gas chambers or bolt gun to the head, we're here to defend them, speak up for them, and educate the public to stop paying for these products. Stop paying for meat, stop paying for dairy, stop paying for eggs, stop paying for animal clothing, animal testing, horse racing, greyhound racing, aquarium, zoos.
Nobody's saying we're not debating a rally, but you've not made any valid point other than you work for Beyond Meat. There's nothing to that statement.
Does he want us to debate where he works?
What do you do?
NZ Uncovered, no, halal is way worse than stunning them, you're a liar. So if you were listening, I was saying they're not stunning them even in a stun location. The FSA audit has flagged them for improper stunning. Footage has showed that they bolt gun them and it still doesn't stun them. They're still conscious when they're killed. There is no difference. There is no difference.
It's just Islamophobia.
Yeah.
They all comment on Muslim slaughterhouses because they hate Muslims. It's not actually because they care about animals.
Yeah.
It's easy for them to hate, isn't it?
Nor does kosher. Kosher doesn't stun either. But nobody talks about Jewish slaughterhouses.
Yeah.
It's race. I would put it to a lot of you that you are racist people, and you just focus on Muslims as a way to like deflect from the argument that all slaughterhouses are bad.
Well said. Yeah, well said. And also, what are you doing about halal slaughterhouses? If you're so against it, what are you doing? What are you doing?
It is, because you don't care about other slaughterhouses, Uncovered. You only care about Muslim slaughterhouses, clearly. If you actually cared about slaughterhouses, you'd be going after other slaughterhouses like this one that don't stun.
Yeah.
Because every investigation that goes into these places seems to find that they don't do what they're told to do.
See you later, Mimi. She's annoying me now.
Yeah,
What
she's
is
very
she
irritating.
saying?
Oh, she's just annoying me.
She was like,
She's just deluded and thinks
Yeah.
that because she knows nutrition and she's done it for so long, that's it's not
That she
okay
knows
ethically. And she admitted, and she'll still be watching the stream, she has admitted that vegan diet is sufficient, so it's a choice. So she is still promoting the choice that exploits animals when she knows there is a valid choice that exists. So she's just a horrible person, basically, because she's promoting the use of animals when we don't need to. And on that note, I think thanks for all being part of the stream. Please do check the video description again, watch the 3-minute movie challenge, look at Animal Aid's article, the FSA data on this slaughterhouse. All the information you need is in the video description. Please subscribe to this channel. We'll be doing lots more live streams outside other slaughterhouses, farms, and any other place that we can expose the animals. And double tap the screen to like the video as well. And also follow Soytan Man on his Instagram, YouTube, and see other live streams as well. And thanks to all the vegans in the chat. Keep staying strong to your beliefs, your morals, speaking up and supporting other vegans out there, because we really need it when we're faced with many, many trolls like we've been subject to today. So thank you for all the support by all the vegans in the chat. Yeah, you've been amazing. So
thank you guys, you're awesome. Spread love, go vegan.
thank you. Yeah, be vegan
And
and
if you're not, stop abusing animals and go vegan.
yeah, stop abusing animals. See you later.